Generic greetings and welcome to Saves plus Prison-Arcitect plus other things and stuff. Actually, now that I come to think of it, I probably won't put all that in the title because it's far too long, silly and annoying, but needless to say, this video is serving multiple purposes. There's a couple of things I want to cover and discuss with you. And, you know, just generic what's happening and, you know, news, etc. The primary function of the video, however, is to let you know about the Prison-Arcitect save files I've finally got around to sharing. I've been threatening to do this for quite some time, and it was always my intention to share the Prison-Arcitect save files once I've got the prison done and finished and sort of aren't really touching it. Saying completed isn't strictly true because I don't think the prisons are never truly completed. But either way, I've got the three current the save files that I've got. I have shared with yourself. If you go in the description, there'll be links or a link to where I've shared them. I haven't decided yet whether I'm bundling them all together or whether I'm actually going to put them all separately. But either way, there's three files in there. There's Mordor 2 Mordors, which is the first prison that I made in my sort of first series of Prison-Arcitect. Obviously that's several alphas old, so it's pretty much useless for the current ones, but you know, you might want to download it and mess about with it and see it and, you know, set fire to things, etc, etc. I'm sure most people will want to do the latter, but you know, feel free to you know, just mod around with it and play with it all you want. And the other two save files are my high risk and low risk prison, which sadly I will no longer be developing. Now there's reasons for that. I'll come to them in a moment. But either way, they're the save files. You know, feel free to play around with them. And, you know, do whatever you want with them. If you do develop them and share them again and pass them on, then the only thing I ask is you give me credit, you know, and links to the links to my channel if you do so. That's the only thing I really ask. But by all means, share them around if you want. But, you know, just give me, just make sure you let people know that they've actually come from myself. Going on to the high risk and low risk prison and the no longer continuing with them. Like I said, there's several reasons for that. Obviously, in the background, you can see the footage from the previous episode of the high risk prison, which was eventful. It went up in a massive blaze of glory. And when I mean glory, I mean 20 plus people dead through various applications of fire, electrocution, fighting, probably beams falling on the heads, and probably drowning actually as well because of all the water and the firemen. Needless to say, there was a bit of a catastrophe. I've never, obviously, oh, by the way, I'm assuming you've watched the Prison-Arcitect series this far. And if you haven't, then, you know, this probably won't make any sense. But, yeah, either way, the high-risk prison is sort of been totaled. I mean, it is repairable. I have spent an hour trying to fix it, and I do stress trying. But, yeah, it went up, and there's a couple of reasons for that. Now, I've narrowed it down to two reasons. The first one was that, and people put this in the comments as well, was that what happened is the water had went diagonally from the shower block when they went in the showers, and that had touched the metal detectors and then obviously electrocuted everybody and then set on fire, and then that's where everything started. And the other one, which is what I've observed, is that when they all went in the shower block, they had a bit of a fight in their, you know, nice, happy, friendly way. You know, just, you know, they've been pushing a lot of floor, they've been pumped for all night of not sleeping, and then they started to throw hands, and that caused them to destroy the grates, which stopped the water getting out underneath them, and then the water, obviously because it's no longer an active tile, would flood over it and then touch the archway, the metal detector, and then the same thing happened, you know, electrocution, fire, death, that sort of thing. Either way, there was electrocution, fire, and death. Regardless of what caused it. Either way, that prison, I've spent about an hour, probably a little bit longer than that actually, trying to recover it, and although it is probably recoverable, after an hour I was still, you know, a million miles away from getting it back to the original state. And I could roll the video back, I could just roll back to the previous save, but I don't really see the point. The fact is, I've been having trouble with it for quite some time. And that sort of comes on. That sort of brings me on to my next point. That one of the problems with the high risk and low risk prison, and one of the problems of doing two concurrent series, is that it takes a long time to develop them and release them, and you know it pretty much doubles the length of the series. So all that might sound good. What happens is I end up hitting several alpha versions and iterations while doing it, which sometimes isn't too bad because sometimes it's bug fixes, but sometimes it can be a massive problem. Like when I think I started them in alpha 6. Was it 6? It might have been 7 actually, but it was around 6 or 7. I don't think it was as late as 8 because 8 was putting in doors and things like that. Yeah, I think it was alpha 7 I started them in. I can't for the life of me remember at the moment, but either way, I started them in, at least a couple of alphas ago. And, every alpha iteration, sometimes it's not too bad, sometimes it's bug fixes, but sometimes, like, it could be, for example, last one, laundry and, visitation and that sort of thing, and working in the kitchen and that sort of thing. And then also the one previous to that was, changing doors and priorities and that sort of alteration in the alpha. So every iteration, every time we hit an alpha, I have to pretty much stop all development of the prison to then conform it over to the new rule set that alpha's introduced, which isn't a problem because at the end of the day, it's an alpha. That's the whole point. It's being developed. It's being actively developed. I'd rather it be actively developed and to see progress than to just stop development on it, which I'd be pretty pissed off about, to be honest with you. But either way, every alpha we hit, there's always pretty much a couple of episodes where we stop and have to conform it over, which is sometimes alright, like I say, sometimes not too bad, but a lot of the time it can be annoying. And I want to try and reduce that as much as possible. But having to conform it over, is reduced in longer, the episodes and the series, I guess, going longer and going on longer than I originally anticipated. But also because I'm doing that, they're getting, it's like a self-fulfilling problem. It's a self-perpetuating problem even, that because they're getting longer, because of the alphas, they're getting longer and longer and longer, and I'm hitting more alphas, and every iteration there's problems, etc., etc. And to a point where it's very difficult to know exactly what's coming next and develop, and also the problems, with the prisoners and that sort of thing, with the kicking off and the, like, for example, both high risk and low risk, because I didn't get laundry put in straight away, they were always in a pissed off mood, which meant that they were always going to do a bit of fighting, and it was really hard to recover from it, which sort of put everything sort of on a bit of a downer from there on in. But either way, I can't really actively develop them anymore. I could probably keep going with the low risk, but because it's slowed down so much, and another problem with it is the performance issues. Now, I don't know whether it's, again, it's because I've been transferring over from different alphas and using the same sort of saves. I don't know if there's any redundancy left in there. I'm not a coder, I don't know why, but either way, if I load up someone else's prisons, because a lot of people do share prisons with me, and I look at them, and it's quite interesting to see people's prisons and such, now they develop it. But either way, I digress. When I look at them, it's running like 30-40 frames a second, whereas I load at mine and it's like 6, and 10, and just rubbish performance, which it's hard to play and certainly annoying to watch, I know. So either way, for various reasons, I'm packing both of them prisons in. It was a good journey. I like the fact that people seem to enjoy what we've developed so far, and most of the prisons, to be honest, you may continue on them with yourself and finish them. Good luck. But we pretty much got there to the end of development. But I do plan on continuing with Prison-Arcitect. I sort of do and sort of don't. It pretty much is up to yourself. Let me know, if you want more Prison-Arcitect videos, because pretty much everything that I feature on the channel is from yourself and your suggestions of games and what to do, etc., etc. So, it's very involved that way. But, secondly, if you do want to continue with Prison-Arcitect and you want to see more, then what sort of thing do you want to see? I mean, I did high risk and low risk because I wanted to do something different. Because if you go on YouTube and you type in Prison-Arcitect Let's Play, you'll get a lot of results, right? That's just a fact. And I want to do something different from the same old just building a prison. I wanted to put a little spin on it, and I still want to do that. I want to do something as different as I can. So, if I do continue, I want to do it, quite differently. I mean, whether it be, I don't know, for example, basing the prison off a film or a TV series, or planning it off something, or you imposing a set of rules on the prison, or a theme that we're going to go with, or just anything to make it different from just us building a prison, because that's what I want to, that's something I want to do. I want to make it as different as I can. So if you do want to continue with it, what sort of things do you want to go with? Like I say, they're my just stuff I've just pulled out, just pulled out of nowhere there. Just and what you want to do, what you want to see it based on. Anything? Do you have any ideas? Any good ideas, or even any bad ideas, post them in there. It might make someone else start thinking, and they might that might make an idea pop into their head, and then they post what they think would be a good idea, etc. And might just get people thinking and see, get different prisons going. Because what I'm going to be doing is, assuming I do continue, I'll be doing I'll be making the episodes longer probably. I want to get the prisons done and finished in a matter of probably about a month. I want to keep on a rolling month, sort of. I'll probably be a lot longer than that, I'm sure, but I want to get them done as fast as possible and get them out and done, because that'll avoid, hopefully I want to just avoid alpha iterations as much as possible, and also get them out to move on to the next good idea and that sort of thing. That's the idea. That's the sort of genesis of the whole thing. Whether or not it ends up like that, I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, that's the sort of idea. Probably make the episodes longer as well, about 30 minutes instead of the 20. So, that 10 minutes, I might even make it longer than that, I don't know. Again, comments, whatever you want, just post in the comments and we'll work it out from there. But yeah, I'm going to take a bit of a different approach on it. So, and that's assuming I still continue it. Either way, videos. Either way, I won't be bringing another episode of it out until at the very earliest the coming Thursday, which is the 30th of May. Assuming you're watching this close to release. Otherwise, this could have been out, and if you listen to this months or weeks or years after, then I've probably already made some, or not, depending on what people have voted. Who knows? But either way, yeah, I won't be doing videos until about the 30th of May, because that's when Alpha 10 comes out. Ivy have already tweeted that that's when Alpha 10 comes out, so who knows what that will bring. So I'm not exactly going to start before a major Alpha release, or what might be a minor Alpha release. Who knows? Either way, it's Alpha 10 and Alpha X, so, hopefully there's bug fixes and all that sort of thing, and just, it's just unknown what's going to happen with it, so I'll wait until then, and then we'll go from there. And also on the video release sort of schedule, subject, videos might be a little bit hit and miss and sporadic, in the next, they have been as of late, and they might continue doing so for the foreseeable future. Basically, I'm not too well at the moment, so that's why I've been missing the odd day. So I am bringing out videos when I can. And when I can manage to record them and bring them out. But you basically, if I miss a day, or there's a day or two that I've missed, etc., then you know why. It's just like I say, I'm not too well at the moment. Nothing I want to go into, but need to say that's why. Follow me on Twitter if you want to know sort of more. Well, not know more about that, but if you want to keep it up to date, because I'll post there if I'm going to miss that day. But I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I should really make a list, shouldn't I, about what I want to cover. Yeah. Save files, yeah, you know about that in the description. In the description, Alpha 10 is coming out. Yes, new series possibly, depending on your suggestions and comments. Suggestions for the new prison, if indeed we do go for, and health. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, anyway, comments in the comments, as always, if you want to continue on with it, and if you do, what you want to continue on with, what ideas, suggestions, etc. And if you want to download the prisons, the prisons we've got so far, then by all means do so in the description. Like I say, I haven't decided whether it's going to be 3 separate files or 1 file, or even how I'm hosting it yet. I'll have to figure out once I've finished, speaking and such. Which is about now, actually. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.